cabaret show, a gladiatorial circus, having all the trappings of legislative infamy, to be deprecated by all compos mentis homo sapiens. For those of us who have lived all our lives in parliament, it is a show of ignominy. It is a show of shame. And it is not something that should be condoned by all compos mentis homo sapiens in this time and age. Members of the State House of Assembly who thought that 4 of their members had conducted themselves in a way and manner that amounted to misconduct, proceeded to put them in suspension, on suspension. Valid proceedings in law. Total compliance with the rules of the floor of the House. A day after, some 9 honorable members proceeded to the floor of the State House of Assembly in a post-haste and an arum scarum modus that had all the trappings of an enter blitzkriegism, purportedly sold the impression to the world that they have impeached Mr. Speaker and some principal officers. It is important to bring 2 fundamental points under focal biceps and biceps here. Which 2 points are, at the time these 9 members proceeded to engage, bestir, cocoon, maroon, and quagmire themselves in this opprobrious peregrination that had all the trappings of legislative infamy, political rascality, and if you like, even legal gambadoism. 4 of them had been validly suspended from the floor of the House, which meant they were complete strangers to the business on the floor of the House on that day. That vitiated their show of shenaniganism. What more? Which is even more fundamental. Let us even assume they had the numbers, which they did not have. Let us even assume that the presence of those 4 members that were already validly suspended, who had no business being seen within the sacred precincts of Parliament, did not even vitiate those proceedings. The legislative authority of the House, which confers sanctimony, which confers every integrity of the parliamentary legalis homo on the proceedings of Parliament, the mix, was not there. So, you can see why I said it was a cabaret show. Rule of law. 4 members have been validly suspended from the proceedings of the floor of the House. No matter what their impressions may be as to the propriety or impropriety of that suspension, the proper thing to do is to approach the court of law or seek remorse from their fellow colleagues. If they don't want to do that, they approach the court of law. Otherwise, if you take laws into your hands, like they have done, we encourage a state of anarchy and encourage a state of topsy-turvydom, a complete state of political higgledy-piggledy, like we have witnessed on the floor of the House in the past 2 days. I have always subscribed to the school of thought which says that agreements and disagreements are the necessary ingredients that feeds, overhaul, titivate, and if you like, even masturbate the democratic contrivance or machinery, provided it is seen to be devoid of cranky ploys and political delinquence that goes to the solar plexus of the corporate existence of a nation state. It is the preponderant excrescence of the cranky ploys and political delinquencies that characterizes the interface, the dialectical interface between political parties, is what has become deleterious to our salubrious peregrination as a democratic state. And that in itself is not only unfortunate, it is sardonic, and it is lugubrious. It only shows that the Nigerian political class have learned nothing and forgotten nothing. That is basically because electioneering political jurisprudence is not ideologically directed and driven. If politics is about service, if politics is to be played pro bono publico, in the interest of the public, that is, it will not be characterized by political jobbery. It will not be characterized by political violence. It will not be characterized by atavistic and antediluvian proclivities. So long as the Nigerian political class, so long as their primus mobilus continue to be driven by stomach democracy and bread and butter politics, then we shall continue to gyrate in this vicious circle of political iconoclasticism. I really don't know why the situation in Kano is what is it today. I say so against the backdrop of the fact that the circumstances of the emergence of the Emir of Kano, Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, is a very clear one. The rules for his emergence is quite diaphanous. Diaphanous to the extent that the kingmakers of the Kano Emirate, in consultation with the executive governor of Kano State, is seized with the constitutional onus probandi to proclaim a new emir. And as far as I am concerned and as far as I know, that has been done. That has been done. So I would advise those who have elected to be on the other side of the divide, to bring themselves to the reality of the fact that the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, is the new Emir of Kano. And if you ask me, and I said that about two days ago when I updated my Facebook page, that I called on the federal government to send a letter of congratulations to the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. That the federal government has not done that yet, for me, makes me maniacally bewildered. That is where maturity lies. That is where statesmanship lies.